welcome back to Sister Sis with Charlie and Tan.
Hi.
Today we're going to be talking about how it's never too late to start again in regards to relationships, career, studies, belief system, life path, just about anything. I think in reality it's never too late to start over in friendships, to start over with family ties that may have been fractured. I think no matter what stage or age you are at in life, I don't believe that it's ever too late to start something.
No, it's not. And I think recent conversations that I have had, sort of everybody have gone through what we went through in the past few years, few months, are coming to a place where realization and reality of what's happened emotionally and mentally and spiritually within people, within households, it's time to kind of move on from that. And we have spoken about opening new doors, which we continue to do. As those doors open, we continue to approach them fully. But this is just to say some people think they've got to a certain place where what's done is done and they can't move forward and they can't make new. Yes. And that's just we're just here to say that is absolutely not true. And you mustn't convince yourself, you mustn't practice any form of self-sabotage
sort of
to stop you from being your best you and from stopping you from fulfilling your purpose. Because it's burning, and you don't want to get to an age or a situation in your life where you look back and all you're doing is regretting and trying and having such a negative approach to life and to the people around you that actually just spoils the rest, the years you might have in front of you.
But I think you said something the other day from a Jamaican Caribbean background. There's a saying that says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I think you posted something the other day that said, do not be the weapon that is formed against yourself. Yeah. Talking about self-sabotage and self-prophecy, a lot of time people are the weapon that they've formed against themselves. They
definitely
are standing in their own way. They believe they're not deserving. They believe that good doesn't necessarily happen to them or hasn't happened to them at that point in life. So they've convinced themselves that good things don't happen to them. Good people don't come into their life. But no matter, like we said, you could be 60 and go and get a degree. You could be, we've seen elderly couples in their 90s in hospital beds, on social media, kind of getting married, finding their first true love. People probably told them it's too late or it's this.
It's impossible. Yeah.
But it's within you. Like, we know people who have gone back and got their masters and got their degrees in their 50s and 60s. We know people who have got remarried in their 30s or 40s and 50s. Nothing is stopping you from grabbing hold of life, grabbing hold of the opportunities, making those opportunities for yourself, and actually going forth with what it is you really want.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important to live in the now.
Yes.
And to there are new opportunities every single day, and it's your attitude towards those opportunities that's truly going to determine how you feel about you, how you felt about your journey once you get to your destination. Yes. Be it if your destination was where you would have liked it to be, or you end up somewhere else. You do not want to be there in regret of all the things you said no to or all the things you didn't do. And it's important as you go through your life that you're just reflective, and that you take those opportunities and you just process things differently. And if you feel like you're having negative outcomes, try changing your attitude. I mean, I spoke to someone really close to me who's in their 60s, and just kind of really encouraged them. I noticed that they're in a place of, it's really difficult to be positive and to be positive regularly. And I just said, just start saying your gratitude, start writing your gratitudes down. And if you have people around you that you feel are in a negative place, and they're people that you actually do want to be in contact with, but they are also not in a very good place, encourage you to do it together. Challenge, do it as a pair or as a group. And do that and share your gratitude. You'll find that all the things that you find are difficult in your life, and all the things that you find to grate on you on a daily basis and bring you down, bring your energy down, just stop doing those things. Or reflect upon those things with someone else, and maybe they can shed light on how you can work through those situations. Because half of the time when we actually look at our problems, they're not really problems. There's always a solution, and there's always time. Time gets us out of so many things, because the universe things are always working to sort themselves out. If you are trying to rush, trying to be impatient, or declining your opportunities, you'll never know what that path was for you. And just believe that and go with that and go in that.
Yeah, but like you said, sometimes it's that belief and putting the work in, whether it's a career change, a belief system change. You might then have to put in the work. You might have to study the material that comes with that belief system or that spirituality. You might need to retrain to change career paths. So things may not happen overnight. A door might not just sporadically, magically open for you. You might have to put the work in to skill up, to retrain. Whether it's a relationship or love life, you might have to put yourself back out there on the dating scene. You may have to leave the situation that you're in and find yourself first. Nothing really happens overnight, unless you're winning the lottery. Nothing really happens overnight.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to be realistic. We might want to change. It's never too late to change, but we have to take into consideration the work and the time that it would take to kind of put us on that right path. Whether you put the work in or don't put the work in, the same amount of time is going to pass. So if 3 years down the road you think, I should have just done the degree, or I should have done the training, I should have got my foot in the door, those 3 years are going to pass whether you skill up or don't.
As we're getting older, the time seems to be going even quicker. So you might think, oh, it's going to take 3 years to accomplish this, or 2 years to accomplish this. Actually, by the time you turn around, you're celebrating New Year's again. We are doing that in a few weeks. And it's crazy, but that's how quickly time is moving. So if you know you want to accomplish things, put a time frame on it. Put a realistic time frame. Put a plan into action so that you can get there. Because, I do it myself sometimes. I might have an idea and think, turn it over for a couple of days and sleep on it, and then not really do anything. And I've made a promise and a commitment.
Weapon you formed against yourself.
Definitely, I've definitely been that many a times. But it's realizing that and realizing how I can do it better next time, and actually keeping documents and journals and making plans and filing these plans and putting dates on things, and actually seeing a project through that I've promised myself that I'm going to do, because that is the way I used to work in my whole life. I've been that way. And then just over time, I think just getting used to having to go to work to pay the bills, you get into a routine and you fall off of actually having these amazing ideas you might have, or meeting these amazing people you meet along your journey, and not actually paying attention to why they've come to you, or why these ideas have come to you, and actually processing them, manifesting them, writing about them, reading, doing your research, and actually putting a plan into action, which could ultimately be what the thing you want to do. But if it isn't, you would have never known. That's kind of my point, and where we're going with this conversation is, in the last month I've seen someone open a food shop, and these are not young people. You're as young as you feel, and as young as you act, and as long as you want to live. But at the same time, these people have lived lives already, and I've seen someone open a food shop, someone get engaged, someone adopt 2 children, and these are people, mid-40s, headed to 50s, still doing things that, people might have deemed that, you've grown your children up, why do you want to take on that now at this point in your life? Why not? For all I could have another 30, 40 years onwards to live, and even if you don't want to get to a place where you're sitting somewhere just thinking, oh, I should have done that, I met someone in 19 whatever, and I had the opportunity and I didn't go for it.
Life is about taking risks, and we said that last time, whether it comes to love or certain things. Life is about taking a risk, and you have to get to a place where fear from failure, from the past, fear of rejection, you need to work through these things, because fear of rejection and fear of failure, fear of success will put you in your own way. It will firmly lock you and block you from your own successes, from your own dreams, and from the possibilities that you could actually fulfill in life.
So it's definitely your mindset. Definitely your mindset towards you. I mean, if you want to reach certain things and you have certain dreams and goals, aspirations, you've got to believe that you can do it. And although people around you, you might wait for someone to say, yeah, that's a good idea, whatever, you don't actually need that validation. The validation is inside of you. That's all you need, is to know that it's possible and that you can.
And sometimes things happen, like you said, I myself have also known that during since there were a lot of closures and lockdown happened last year, there were people who worked for airlines that I know who were always going away, going to spas on a different island, probably at least once a month. Now they're at home and they're actually doing fostering. I don't think they would have considered fostering when they were flying all the time and doing all of these getaways, but it forced them to reevaluate their life rather than become pessimistic and defeatist and think, okay, my whole career's down the drain, what do I do? I am lost. There might have been that moment, but it was like, okay, we're stuck at home. What can I do to give back while we're stuck at home? And they have stuck with the fostering.
Yeah, definitely.
So even as the world
has probably evoked so many gifts that they didn't even know.
Well, they only had one child, and they have a lovely home, and they're a lovely family, so they knew that they had something to offer and give. Had the lockdown not happened, fostering, I don't think, ever would have potentially crossed their mind. So sometimes negative things happen in life, negative times, negative situations, but it causes you to reevaluate what is important, what isn't important anymore, whether it's consumerism, materialism, you know, not to say all friendships, but sometimes there are pulls that are pulling you in the wrong direction. They may have been pulling you in the wrong direction for like 10 years, but that was a chapter that you needed to work through to build the foundation to get to the next chapter.
Okay, enough is enough of waiting, or enough is enough of just being open to an idea. Actually, it's down to me to drive and push that idea.
And I think if you start having doubts in anything, if you're in a career and you start having deep-seated doubts, and you are feeling like a change, and then you talk yourself out of it, you're going to stay in that position, maybe because of security and stability, but you're going to start to resent that job. You're going to start to resent waking up every day and going to your life.
Job. You don't just, it doesn't, if it just boils down to, I resent that job, switch that off. But because we're humans, that emotion will just go through to your social life. Yeah, because we talk about all the time about settling in relationships and settling in love, but people settle in work, people settle in jobs, people settle in careers, people settle into a belief system because that's what they were shown as a child, that's what their family or their culture believe in. Sometimes people have grown up their whole life with a religion, they hit a certain point, it's not necessarily what they believe in anymore, but they feel trapped, so they settle with that. I'm not going around telling people, give up what your family have instilled in you, give up stability and security. But I think your inner peace, your happiness, job satisfaction or purpose, these things all need to come into play. The world has changed so much. We need to look at what is actually fulfilling. Fulfilling, yes, but I think what happens, and this is just an assumption, is that you kind of, if you're a grounded person, you've been grounded in those foundations that maybe your family has set for you. Maybe you lay down quite young in life for yourself. You know, some people put real expectations on themselves, and some of us, you know, you kind of have a full sense of pride in what you're trying to prove to others and that outside validation. But you get to a point where, hopefully you get to a point, but the saddest thing is some people never reach that point. You know, and I hope that we will encourage you to reach points, you know, and just not follow, but just get some sort of inspiration from what we're saying, because we're not, you know, we're not giving up on ourselves. We're not giving up on life because you're doing certain things or your children have started their lives now. You know, you're supporting them in every way you can. You know, you're not just going to turn around and go, you know, give up everything. And if you want to, then you do that. I was speaking to Charlie earlier on, you know, about emigrating, about moving somewhere where you feel you can give more, you can do more. You know, why not? You know, if you look at actually you ask yourself a question instead of saying, you know, oh, I can't do this because of this, this, and this. You know, think of, well, why can't I actually? You know,
well, sometimes when you evaluate thinking about all the things that could go wrong, how about you look at all the things that could go right?
Exactly, and especially if you are around people who have been successful at certain things, it's important to look at those successful people and to look at the people who are actually living a happy, content life, not because they're posting it everywhere, but actually, on the contrary, because you don't hear from them,
because they're living
you know, you don't actually hear from them. You know, once in a while you speak to them, you realize their energy is different, their vibration is different. You hear their voice, and their voice is on a completely different frequency. You know, they're vibrating somewhere else. And if you speak to those people and you ask them, they've done this type of work to free them. To free them.
As they said, you don't have to post. You don't have to prove to anyone by posting that you live a happy life. The people who are actually living the happiest lives are sometimes the people you see posting the least, because they're busy living the happy life. They forget to take the pictures. They might take pictures sometimes, but you're so busy living in the moment that the phone and the camera doesn't matter, because you're enjoying the memories that you're locking into your brain. You see people go to concerts, you see people go to parties, you see people go out to dinner. They're not even engaging in conversations. Most of the time it's changing filters and taking picture of the plates of food, rearranging the drinks. Come away from the end of the night, did you actually spend time with these people, or was it about proving to social media how your night looked?
Definitely, and I think it's something for all of us to think about, because we did rely a lot on our phones, some of us more than others, especially the younger generation, in a time where being social was a bit tricky. But it's important. I think everyone is kind of enjoying this period. You know, it's getting cold. You know, a few nights out, a few planned gatherings. I think people are actually enjoying themselves going out now, and I hope so. You know, go out, listen to music, have some fun, interact, talk to people. Grow authentically.
Yeah. Build authentic connections. Build a tribe, a support system around you who will encourage you and be there. Like we said, you don't need to necessarily seek validation unless you're looking for approval, unless you're looking for a second opinion on a project you're going to start. But it's always good to have a village, a support system, a community around you if you are going to start something new, because sometimes starting something new isn't easy. If you're a parent, a young parent, or a single parent even, you may need support if you're going back to studies. You may need reliable people that you can count on to pick up your children, or to step in and cook a meal. You might need to talk to one or two or a handful of other parents at your children's school that could step in on a late night if you need to study or you need to be at a late night class. Whether or not you have a supportive partner, supportive parents, or just friends. You know, if you're one of those people that kind of do day release and you work, but you go off to study one day a week, sometimes you need to have supportive colleagues, because if you miss something, you need to be able to catch up. So if you're trying to build a bridge to a new path, it doesn't mean that you kind of close off the door behind you until you've actually built a solid bridge to the next path. There's no point just kind of shutting the door behind you and thinking, I'm going to do it all on my own.
Yeah, and I think what I've kind of come to realization as well, like certain things you may want to do, you might need to want to seek professional advice in certain areas. And what I've kind of said to myself is, you know what, I might be putting something together, for example, and there's like a gap. You know, there might be something legal I might want to know, or something financial I might want to know.
How to file an application, how to get funding, investors.
Whereas before I would have, you know, been ringing around saying, oh, do you know someone who could do this, someone who do that? You know, online courses are so available. Sometimes, you know, most of the time now I'm just like, you know what, let me go and study that. Let me go and research that so I can be that for myself. And then in turn, if there's a gap in your community for something and you've gone out and filled that gap, you're just such an asset to your community. You're such an asset to your family and the people around you. You know, so instead of, you know, letting opportunities go past, if you see a gap and you think, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we had a mechanic in the family? Wouldn't it be nice if someone could sort my financial documents, my tax out for me? Go and study some bookkeeping. Go and do a quick accountancy course. You know, learn some stuff, research on, you know, the websites that you can, and be that person, because then the next time someone else needs your help, be it your children, be it your siblings, family, partners, whatever, you can give that advice and you can sit down and sort through things that you might have had to pay someone for, or you didn't even have someone to do it for. So then things can't go further. You know, there are lots of gaps within our community of all these things. You know, go and study them, fill those gaps. You can do it. Things are so quick, and as Charlie said earlier, you know, time is speeding up, and you know, you look around and a year's gone, you could have studied 2-3 courses in that year. I'm not saying go out there and overextend yourself and kill yourself.
Be realistic and set a path, put the goals, the steps that you need to get there in place, and then start working your way through the steps. But even on a smaller scale, we're talking about career, we're talking about religion, we're talking about beliefs, we're talking about relationships and love. But sometimes also, you know, like when we talk about it's not too late to kind of make a change, that could be seeking help to do with your physical health. That could be seeking help to do with your mental health. That could be that you're in a relationship and you need relationship counselling to save that relationship, or to go separate ways. But there are so many different aspects in life that we need to stop convincing ourselves that it's written off. that it's too late. Sometimes a relationship may be savable. Sometimes you may be able to stay in a job if you are able to approach that boss or take on a skill within that company. But supporting each other is also, or should I say, when we say, as I said, it's never too late, is we need to look at our whole lives holistically. We need to look at jobs, we need to look at belief systems, we need to look at family, we need to look at relationships, we need to look at physical health and mental health. We need to look at ourselves and everybody else as a whole person.
Are we aligning, basically?
Yeah, because some people might have a great career, but they're shattering inside. So it's great to have a career, but if your mental health is declining, you're going to fall apart. Your family are going to end up feeling it. The job you might not end up having if you can't even go to the job. So
it's really important. I mean, that's what we're saying, for your ultimate happiness.
Yes.
Don't be fearful of making change. Don't be fearful of holding back. And don't be fearful to just literally say, that was me. This is new. But in order to get to this new place, this new platform, this new level,
yes,
I do have to do some work. And you know, we're not just talking about your normal healing stuff that goes on and we've been talking about for a few months now, but we're talking about actually stepping forward, taking leaps, you know, grasping all that life has to offer you while you can, and to ultimately fulfill your dreams and your purposes. And that feeling of doing what it is you're supposed to do on this earth is so rewarding. And I do hope that, well, I don't hope, I know when I get to that place, hopefully I can inspire others, and that we can, you know, just be a light to other people to say it is possible. And go ahead and do it, do what you want, and don't just love other people hard, love yourself hard, and love your purpose hard. And
if you feel that this is the time where deep in your soul you can feel the urge for change, look at where change can occur in your own personal life. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Look where you might need change, where you want change, and where you can implement change. It's about you. It's never too late. If you want love, go and find love. If you want a new career, go and find a new career. If you want to change your belief system, go and change your belief system. This is about you. This is about your inner peace. This is about being happy, fulfilling your purpose, and being fulfilled.
And loving yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so we hope we've left you on a good note.
Definitely.
And yeah, we're feeling really energized. We're feeling that this is a whole time of newness and new beginnings. And we hope you do too. And we hope we get to share them with you. And we hope you get to share them with others too. So take care of yourselves from Sis to Sis. Till next time. Bye.
Take care.